evening, everyone. The highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accidents. A Beaver County man is being held for murder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Snodacast. I am your host, BlackChat56, and I am, of course, joined by, for his first official appearance on the podcast, we have, if I can get the fucking thing to go away, the RealCinephile, or as we know him, Drop Man George, aka George.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah, we appreciate you the second time around. And, of course, we're also joined by Watsonandoff, aka John.
Hello.
Hello. Now fuck off. No, I'm kidding.
I go now.
I go now.
I made my appearance. I've done my duty.
And of course, we're also joined by the wonderful DJ Lionheart, aka Leon.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Alrighty then. Well, we can't have a normal episode of the podcast without talking about weekly updates. This is the segment, for those of you that don't know, where we basically, it's a good way for us to kind of get loosened up and get ready to talk. And it's also a good way for you viewers to catch up on some of our daily lives. So, George, since this is your first time, you're going to go first, and you're going to do it, and you're going to like it, damn it.
Oh, I'm going to love this.
Yeah. So, George, I got to ask you the age-old question. How's your week?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is one of the best weeks I've had in a long time. Like, I don't have generally bad weeks. Like, you know, life is kind of what you make it, but this one's been a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the whole C. Thomas Howell thing, and I actually got a 35-year-old question answered for myself, where, you know, The Hitcher, horror movie from the 80s, and, you know,
terrible remake with Sean Bean.
Sean Bean, terrible. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah.
Sophia Bush, yeah, not a good one. But I asked him months ago, and it just happened to be today while I was making content and watching The Hitcher, like actually watching it. At that moment, I see a notification come over from C. Thomas Howell about this one scene in the movie where he kicks a cop in the back of the head as he's getting arrested. And I always wondered if it was part of the movie, or if it, you know, if it was just an accident. He said it was an accident that they kept in the movie. And yeah, like that made I'm good for the rest of the year, man. Like, I don't need anything else. I'm good.
I'm good for about 2 months.
Yeah.
Hey, some of the best scenes are complete by accident or
absolutely,
and left
yeah. Like I know we were talking about it earlier. In Guardians 1, it's actually completely by accident that Peter Quill drops the orb, because Chris Pratt accidentally dropped the orb and then picked it back up in that exact way. And that was just so funny that they kept it in.
But what's great about that is, like, that would definitely be something Star-Lord would do.
Exactly. It fit the character. And so Gunn was like, it was done by accident, but I'm keeping it in there. And it was kept in there. Yeah.
Right. Gotta love those happy accidents.
Absolutely. Yeah. Happy accidents are the best accidents.
Happy accidents, great ad-lib lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, John, I gotta ask, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. Been pretty busy. I did get some news about one thing I'm working with. I can't exactly give a whole lot of information about it, but it is film related. Ooh. So, like, because we're recording this, I really can't give information about it.
I got you. Yeah.
Just yet. I'm not in anything, but it's like I work with the power company, so like for like a film set, like they're like, hey, these power lines are in the way and it's going to take too long for us to edit them out. Can we just like move them for like a little bit?
That's awesome.
I'm just like, okay. Yeah. Cool. So that's kind of what, like, a job that I got recently. I'm just like,
oh, okay.
Well, that's
nice.
Interesting. Yeah, nice.
So yeah, I mean, pretty cool. I also got a 7-string guitar, so I mean, I'm doing pretty good.
There you go. There you go. You can't ask for more, right?
Yeah, no, it's like one of those weird weeks where it's just like, neat things keep happening.
Yeah.
Love that.
Absolutely. Well, Leon, last time we talked to you, you had quite the hell of a week. What do we got on the report of this one?
It actually just got a little better as we all celebrated our fun Halloween. Fun Halloween. But it, like I said last time, buddy of mine let me put up my DJ equipment up at their house.
Right.
We had like a big ass, like, you've seen those big black and yellow lid totes at like Walmart and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we had that full. It was empty by 7 o'clock.
There you go. That'll do
It was completely empty. So, but had the music going, had my lights going when it got dark enough. Bubble machine was going, fog machine's going.
Yeah.
Like everyone was walking by when it was still daylight, but a bunch of people came back to the area and had like a very small block party that I was just going out on.
Absolutely, man. That's always nice.
The Daily Courier, which is our Grants Pass, Oregon newspaper, interviewed Mom.
There you go.
Was taking pictures, and I haven't seen them yet because I've been looking at each edition. Hopefully, as of tomorrow, Wednesday, I should hopefully be in the newspaper.
Hey, there you go. That's always good free publicity.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm completely out of business cards now.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey,
good problem.
I need to order more.
Good problem to have.
That is a very good problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully some more stuff comes up. A couple people were talking to me about possible event ideas. One is a possible wedding up in the Douglas County area, so it's a little farther away from but I don't mind.
The trip.
Oh yeah, it'd be worth the trip. Another person haven't gotten back to me yet. Apparently they were moving in a few weeks, so they were wanting to do some kind of like family get together type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
So hopefully that comes in. A friend of ours who my dad used to work with the Boys and Girls Club up here. We used to do all kinds of events for them. Just told me the building that they're in has areas, spaces for renting. So we were talking to them about that. Hopefully that can let people know that's having places. And if I wanted to rent out a space to do any kind of event, that would help promote my stuff and just on. So the past couple weeks that I'm hoping this is where like my big break's coming through.
Hey, and really we hope that for you, man. Hey, and we're happy for you.
Definitely.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty then, going into now showing for real this time, it is the Marvels, and I still don't care. And it turns out a lot of other people don't either. This movie is I think it's projected to actually lose more money than The Flash, which is a hard fucking bar to pass.
Yeah.
That is a hard bar because of everything that happened with The Flash.
Well,
and with as much as what was going on for The Flash, I mean, I know the whole Ezra Miller thing was a big controversy and that was really stacked against it, but it had Michael Keaton, Batman, the original, and it still bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, we actually got into a pretty heated argument about that. We were both thinking, and honestly, I was kind of hoping that Michael Keaton would save the Flash, but
that's where I was.
Michael Keaton can only do so much.
Well, and here's the other thing is they really don't know how to shoot the original Batsuit with Michael Keaton in it, and they shoot it like any other costume, and it's like, nah, man, that stuff needs to be shot at an angle in dark alleyways. It was never meant for daylight.
Yeah. And
like there's one part where they do kind of know how to shoot it, and that was the silo scene when they're going to rescue Supergirl. That was a good segment. But no, like they really don't know how to shoot it. But I will say this, I actually had fun with The Flash. It's got some really creative moments in it.
There were portions I really enjoyed. I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody complains about how the finale is very bland. I'm like, it's still a lot of fun though. Yeah, it's a bland location. I'll give you that. But like, it's still fun. You know, we get 2 Flashes. We get to see Supergirl. You get a Jack White song, which is fucking phenomenal. You know, I'm sorry. Every time I hear a Jack White song, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get fucking pumped here. Let's go. You know, it's something about him. But
for that particular movie, I will say that Supergirl and Sasha Calle as that character was the highlight for me.
highlight, absolutely. And I'm pissed that we didn't get more of her.
Yep.
I really am. I'm like, holy shit, and also that the freaking Tamara Morrison cameo was hilarious. I loved that cameo. That was one of my favorites. I was like, it's technically a cameo, but like that was one of my, that and one other thing about like, oh, this is a different timeline is my man Stoltz for Back to the Future. And it's like, no, it's Michael J. Fox. It's like, no, it's Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
And I fucking die. I was the only one in my theater that was dying laughing. And my girlfriend even looked at me confused. I'm like, I'll explain it later. Don't worry about it. oh, that was one of my favorite things. And of course, that Nicolas Cage cameo was great.
Awesome.
Even though it was entirely CGI. Every other cameo was like, like the Christopher Reeves one was very uncomfortable. But
let's talk about our excitement for the fucking Marvels.
I have none. Let's continue talking about the Flash.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If there's anything that the last 3 years have kind of proved with, movies coming to like theaters and like doing well at the box office, you have to have something that people really, really want to go see in a theater. And you can't really have something that like people are like, I'll just wait till it like comes out on video. Because like with the Flash, it was a TV series, and people were like, okay, we've always watched this as like a TV series, so let's just wait till we can watch it at home or something like that.
Yeah. And I do not wish that the Flash would be another Green Lantern example, where we have yet to get another Green Lantern movie or show that isn't animated since that Ryan Reynolds movie. And I'm very fucking pissed about that, because like it's a bad movie. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but like the Flash is not that bad. It just did terrible. I
even Ryan Reynolds didn't like that movie.
Well, yeah, and I actually like certain elements of that movie. There's some stuff like Mark Strong casting as Sinestro was phenomenal. I still stand by, like, if you're gonna do another attempt, get Mark Strong as Sinestro again. That was perfect. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of DC movies because I've never really been a big DC fan. I like the Batman movies; those were all really good. Still haven't seen the new one, but every once in a while, I found a couple like Green Lantern I enjoyed. I didn't like super like, but I enjoyed it. Just mainly because it's Ryan Reynolds. He's a great actor anyway.
He does kind of carry that movie a little bit.
He does.
He does.
Comedic performance in the movie is what makes it enjoyable at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I find it funny that what's his name from IT Crowd was in that movie as well.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, where the fuck happened to that guy? Like he popped up at a couple movies and then disappeared.
And for me, it's the same thing with the Marvel movies. Like I'm a huge Marvel fan. The past few Marvel movies weren't great, but I still enjoyed them.
That's fair. I literally, honestly, the last Marvel movie I saw in theaters, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I think it was Guardians 3. I think that was the last Marvel movie I saw and last one I saw in theaters.
The last one for me was Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
Damn, then you didn't even see Guardians 3 in theaters. That was worth watching in theaters. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
It was a great movie. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, I got a little disheartened with some of the movies. Now, I saw Black Panther 2 in theaters, and
it was okay.
I cried at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
no, the ending is powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. But the overall storytelling I had some issues with. Like the pacing was a little weird. I love that Siri became Black Panther. I think that was a great decision. I think it was the only decision they should have made.
Well, it also follows the comics too.
Yeah,
it followed the comic.
And I still think it's a good idea because, like, obviously, you did have to deal with the loss of Chadwick Boseman. That was like sudden, out of nowhere for anybody that didn't know. And it's just one of those things. It's like they did it the best of what they could do, and that's fine. I like the fact that I liked Shuri as as like unsure whether or not she deserves this role. I thought it was a great idea. But no, another thing is, I like that they also set up that T'Challa's son could take over the mantle as well. That was like the best way to have your cake and eat it too. You pleased both sides. with
100%.
Oh yeah, I agree.
and
honestly,
it was so good.
the beginning of Black Panther 2, the ceremony was just beautifully done.
Oh, it was, yeah, 100%. You could have ended it right there and said for Chadwick Boseman, I would have walked out had it be, I would have been like, yeah, cool, fun,
Right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was like the best, like one of the best ways to honor Chadwick.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about. I'm just curious. How do you feel about Marvel's handling of Captain Marvel, Photon, and Miss Marvel?
I heard the Miss Marvel show is good, but very forgettable. I'm not the biggest fan of Brie Larson. Yeah, I didn't hate Captain Marvel. I didn't hate the movie, but it was obviously not my favorite. It was just literally a holdover till Endgame.
Yeah.
Photon had a decent enough introduction in WandaVision, but ultimately it came too little too late, and I kind of didn't care.
Yeah.
Now, and that might be the one thing I'm interested in, because it seems like she doesn't really want to talk about Captain Marvel in the show. So it's one of those things. It's like, okay, so are you pissed that, your mom, Monica, died because, something happened, or like nobody showed up? Like, I'm curious as to what went on with that.
Yeah.
But no, it's still one of those things. It's like, yeah, that might be the only thing I'm interested in, because I heard that the actress they got to play Miss Marvel, and I've seen clips, and I'm like, yeah, you have spunk, you have entertainment,
Yeah.
Are you going to be the next Spider-Man type character? No, I don't think. I think you need to be something else. You need to make your own. But as like spunky teenager goes, she's fine.
Yeah, and for me, I do like the character. I like what they did with her and who they cast for it. I really feel like Marvel is like, now they're starting to backpedal because they know that this movie's about to bomb. Like, it's inevitable. It's gonna bomb.
Yeah, it's gonna bomb. Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, so we're gonna roll out some news. Here we go. We may bring back the original 6 Avengers.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, you guys, I hope you're just throwing that out there just to test the waters, because I'm against it 100%.
There are rumors that
I
Robert
fully
Downey Jr.
agree
is
too.
down, but I don't know about Scarlett Johansson, because she was very pissed on how they did kind of do her dirty with Black Widow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, wholeheartedly. That was a film I feel like should have come out in like phase 2 at the very least.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I think it came out way too late. I really do.
Yeah.
It should have come out in like phase 2, I think.
Now, granted, I think if it did come out in phase 2, I don't think David Harbour would have been casted, and I feel like he was one of the better parts of that movie.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he was hilarious. He was one of the better parts. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
it all
absolutely
varies,
love that.
and yeah. I'm on the same line as you, Christian, about it. Like, I liked watching Miss Marvel. I thought it had some funny comedic moments, kind of forgetful, but it was still a fun watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Brie Larson. It's just something about her acting. It's kind of, I don't know the right word for it.
It's disinterested.
Yeah,
I will give it that. Now, granted, a lot of people like harped on her acting in Captain Marvel, and I'm like, okay, there is it's not very well explained, but there is a somewhat explanation as to why she was stiff, wooden, and came across kind of rude.
Yeah,
well, the character's like,
yeah, exactly. And what's going on with the character? She thinks she's Kree when she's not. And and also the Kree suppress their emotions, and so it's like, okay, so I get that, I understand it, but I'm not gonna lie, that freaking line where it's like, I don't even know who I am, and it's like, it sounds exactly like that, and I fucking hate it. It's one of the worst lines.
Yeah.
It's actually it's a poignant line. But it is written. It is
like,
it
there's
is
ways to
delivered
be
so terrible.
Making a character seem bricky, and that's how Captain Marvel was supposed to be at first. But the way she did it, it was too bricky.
Yeah, and it kind of carried the rest of her performance along. And now I will say there was one part in Endgame, which, funny enough, they shot Endgame before Captain Marvel was even filming. So that's what's funny. That's why if you feel like there's such a drastic tonal shift from how she portrays Captain Marvel in Endgame versus Captain Marvel, it's because Captain Marvel was shot after Endgame. So because they did Infinity War and Endgame back to back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's one really well delivered line that I'm like, okay, I actually get a sense of character from you, and that was the whenever she's taking the gauntlet from Peter Parker. Like, it's like, hi, Peter Parker. Is that for me? Or whatever the hell it was, whatever the line was. That was like, okay, that's the, yeah, you got something for me.
It was like
that was the one
and
moment
at the same time. It was like a little weird.
Yeah, that was the one moment where I'm like, holy shit, you actually do have a character. What the fuck is this? and I do like that. It seems like she's bringing that back for this movie. It seems like she's actually trying.
Which is a goddamn shame that it's this movie. Like,
yeah, this was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2, and then they're like, well, nobody likes Brie Larson, so we're just gonna make her like a part of a trio. Hey!
He was supposed to be the like new leader of
the Avengers,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like that's what they were posing her to do. And I honestly don't know the hate for Brie Larson. I love her. There's so many movies that she's done that I really do appreciate.
I think part of it is it could just be her off-screen personality, the way that she portrays herself outside of like filming. Is what throws a lot of people off.
And I'm okay with that too. Yeah. Like that's fine for me. She's not hurting anybody, so I think
Rachel Zegler is kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah,
she's hurting her reputation bad.
But yeah. As far as her performance goes, like I'm not against it.
The performance is fine, and like obviously, everybody forgets she was in Scott Pilgrim, and she did a perfectly fine job in that movie.
Yeah, she did Room, which was
really good.
Yeah,
that and then what was the other thing she did before Scott Pilgrim? Because there was another thing that she was in that I'm like, holy shit, she's in this.
The United States of Terra.
No, I don't think it's that one. Hold on,
I don't know. I don't remember. I actually kind of forgot she was in Scott Pilgrim for a while.
Yeah, she's Scott's ex. So hold on. Brie Larson filmography. Can you actually give me a real filmography here, please? Thank you. Okay. Because it was before Scott Pilgrim. I know that. Oh yeah, I always forget she's in Kong Skull Island. Even though she's one of like the main focal characters.
Free Fire,
yeah, that's a good one.
Skull Island, interesting.
Yeah, she was in Kong Skull Island. She was one of the main characters. So was Tom Hiddleston. That movie's still a lot of fun, though. I actually like that movie. Yeah, but no, it's just one of those things. I feel bad for this movie. There's no saying I don't. However, I also have no interest in this movie. They have yet to show me anything that I'm like, I have to go see this in theaters. I literally just got like, I'll stream it. That's the only vibe I got out of it. I'm like, this looks like somewhat fun. I'll stream it.
I found one thing out of the entire trailer, because I'm one of those people that will comb a Marvel trailer frame by frame by frame, and I found an X-Men logo.
Really?
Yeah.
That should be interesting. Let's see how that.
I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
There's a 1.5 second scene with Monica Rambeau sitting on a bedroom, or no, sorry, a hospital bed. And there's a character in a suit, like a super suit. I don't know what super suit that is. I tried to figure it out, but I don't know who it is. They walk past, and the monitoring screen in the hospital room has an X in the corner. That's the X-Men logo.
Huh.
It is a 1.5 second scene. Like, it's a flash, and I went, screen by screen by screen. I was like, there's that.
I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. Yeah.
Hopefully it does, but who knows? Who really knows?
Who really knows?
Yeah. I do want to go see this movie, granted, because of my situation. It's really hard for me to get to it because I live about 45 hour away from a movie theater.
Damn, dude.
Oregon.
Yeah. So for me, going to a theater is very rare for me. It's a treat.
Yeah.
It's definitely a special treat when I go.
What was the last thing you saw, Leon? Do you remember?
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Right.
Such a great movie. I loved it.
Yeah, I still yet to watch it, and I loved Bumblebee. Now, granted, Bumblebee took me like 5 years to watch. I don't know why. I was just like, yeah, I'll eventually. And then I finally said that. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually good.
Rise of the Beast was one of the better Transformers movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's a hard bar to pass, but
like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Transformers
I love
nerd, and I love the Transformers movies.
I grew up with
There's
those
just
movies.
A few of those, just
kind
of meh. But
honestly, the first three are they're like some of the better ones. Those are most entertaining movies I could ever watch. It's something about the fourth and the fifth one that just drag it down. The fifth one especially. I was like, this is
Last
the most
Night
okay movie
really
I've ever seen.
Odd.
Yeah,
there's something
like, this
with
is the most
Last
okay.
Night that's really weird, and a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
for what the timeline's going with.
It was so poorly done.
Yeah, it was
poorly done.
Honestly, it made Age of Extinction look good, and Age of Extinction had such a different tone too. Like, it literally went from we have a pretty consistent tone to this is new tone to this is our other new tone.
And here's the Dinobots.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, no, I mean, like, I'm talking about movie to movie. So you have the first three, we have our consistent tone. Then you have the second one, or then you have the fourth one. This is our new tone, and Dinobots, have fun. And then you have the fifth one, and it's like, this is a new tone. We're gonna try to emulate a bunch of other movies, and the fact that you got Anthony Hopkins to say "dude" irritates the ever-loving shit out of me. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, that irks me in the wrong way, and I fucking hate you for it. Also, that was just a waste of Anthony Hopkins. And speaking of waste, I swear to God he was wasted. There's no way he fucking wasn't. I'm telling you, he was fucking hammered that entire production. Oh my God.
I mean, wouldn't you?
I could hate on that movie all day. And the thing is, I don't even think it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's really not. It's okay.
Oh, there's others. Oh, there's definitely others out there that are just like dog fucking awful terror.
One of my favorite, most recent, insanely so bad it's good, is Serenity with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. Holy shit, is that movie bad shit. You need to watch it. I'm telling you right now. It is one of those so delightfully insane, so bad it's good movies that you don't even see it coming. And it is so fucking funny. Because it's just so bad shit. It's so bad shit throughout the entire movie. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this shit? Like, literally, within the first 10 minutes, Matthew McConaughey, his character, he's like a guide fisher or whatever, and there's a big fish that he's wanting to catch. And this guy, who is his customer, by the way, he's like, hey, yo, let me catch it. And he pulls out a fucking knife on him and growls. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That's just so stupid. It's funny.
Exactly. And they play it 100% serious throughout the entire movie.
What was the name of that movie?
Serenity.
I know. I think I've told you this story before, Christian, but like, I don't even remember. This is how bad this movie was. I was at Job Corps, and we went to the movie theater every once in a while. It was like a field trip type thing, you know. They picked some fucking movie that I don't even know. How bad it was. I don't remember what the hell it was. The title of the name. All I know is it had something to do with drug dealing and the mob or some kind of shit. I left to go use the bathroom, walked back in, sat down, looked up at the screen, and all of a sudden I see werewolves fighting. I'm like, this movie got really interesting. Then I realized I just walked into the end of Twilight, the second to last Twilight film.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. I love that.
That's how funny. That's how bad the movie I saw was.
Jesus.
It's like, this movie got way better sitting there for like 5 minutes, and then I see Bella and Edward. I'm like, what the fuck am I in here?
Oh man, but you can catch the marbles.
I contemplated on staying.
That is pretty bad. That's a pretty bad sign. Yeah. But that being said, you guys, as of this recording, it is not out yet, but as of this release, the Marvels, I almost called it Captain Marvel too, The Marvels is out in theaters right now. All right.
For
So,
real this time.
yay! Yeah, kind of my thought process too.
Apologies for last time because we were wrong, but
Yes,
yeah.
apologies for last time we said that because yes, we were absolutely 100% wrong. Alrighty then, going into the topics for the night, we actually have some trailers to talk about here. Specifically, we have the new Miyazaki film, Studio Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Echo, and Shogun. So let's start with The Boy and the Heron. It's a Miyazaki film. I'm excited.
It looks good.
Totally excited.
It looks really good. It looks
it does.
Really good.
It looks exactly like it could fit into every other universe, and
Mhm.
yet it doesn't. It has its own distinct style, and yet it doesn't. It's weird. It's so weird how you can do that. You can tell it's a different
all
world.
the Studio Ghibli films are like that. Some of them look
That's
like
true,
they actually look like they will blend together, but
yeah, I think so. I think that too. Yeah.
My question is, do you want to see it English dubbed or subtitled?
That's the hardest choice.
No, for me, English dub, and I'll tell you why. If you don't know, you're about to find out. Have you seen the voice acting cast?
I have not seen the cat. Who's voice
that
acting
trailer?
in this movie?
I know Mark Hamill's a
Oh.
part of this. I know
Christian
what's the name?
Bale,
Christian Bale is in
Dave
it. Yeah.
Batista,
Dave Batista.
Gemma Chan, Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, Florence Pugh, Dan Stevens. Like,
It's a stacked
Dude,
cast.
this
It
is
is such a stacked cast. Yeah, Florence. Oh my
Oh,
god, yeah. Yeah, man, this is freaking phenomenal. I love this.
Oh, that's
Karen
Definitely.
Fukuhara from The Boys. Like, oh my god, like everybody here has done something really significant in their career, and they're lending their voice to the English dub of this. So I am like so stoked to see this movie.
If Mark Hamill's doing voice acting in anything, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
that's kind of my thought
right,
process
right.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I go
totally
see
agree with that.
the English dub of this, I'll be memorizing who plays what, because
Yeah.
I want to know, like, Mark Hamill's going to do something that's not his voice. So
Oh, yeah.
You already
I'm
hear
really
his voice
excited
in the
about it.
trailer, actually.
Did you? I don't know. If
There's like a split second where you start to hear that Joker kind of like low gravel kind of thing.
Okay.
Like there's a very split second in the trailer. I'm like, that's Mark Hamill's character. Don't know who the fuck he's playing, but I know that's Mark Hamill. I think he's
Right.
playing the Heron, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought
It would not
I
surprise
thought Willem
me.
Dafoe was playing that.
Oh no, Willem Dafoe is playing the Heron. That's true. Now Willem Dafoe is always easy to pick out sometimes when it comes to
Oh,
voice
yeah.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah, he just has this very distinct voice, even when he
He
tries
does.
to. Even when he
Bale
does
is going to be the
voice
one that's going
acting.
to surprise the hell out of me. I don't know who the fuck he's doing, but I know for a fact he could do voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Batista, like, why? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Do
awesome,
it. Let's do
dude.
it. Let's go.
Dude, I love the fact of how much Dave Batista has like grown in his career. And I like that he doesn't stick to just one thing, like unlike another wrestler that had a pretty luxurious and extensive film career and is kind of going downhill now.
The Croc? I mean, the
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Crack.
Sorry.
that-
Yeah.
Oh, we
The
were talking
Rock.
about the Invisible Man.
Very funny.
But yeah,
Oh man.
I don't know.
I'm stacked. I'm fucking stoked
This is
for
a
movie.
stacked dubbed cast.
Oh man, I'm
And-
telling you. And I think
oh,
I think he said this is gonna be his last Miyazaki Studio Ghibli
Yes,
film.
this is the last one he's gonna do,
Yeah, and
which really sucks. But like, dude,
that explains why they're going all out. You
Oh
know?
yeah,
that
We've
explains
gotten
why.
some great movies. My also Kiki's Delivery Service.
Kiki's
That's still
Delivery
one of my
Service
all-time
is
favorites.
such a freaking it's a heartwarming movie.
I remember like watching like Spirited Away, and just like
Oh, it's so
I was a kid. I got started halfway through it. I had no idea what was going on, and I was
Yeah.
still like, "What is this? This is
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'll tell you one that kind of did that for me, but then I look back on it, I'm like, it's still not my favorite, but it is still a good movie. Is Ponyo?
Mhm.
Ponyo's pretty good. Yeah,
It's
it has
good,
its
but
moments.
it's hard to like dictate. It's like out of all the people you can get for an English dub cast, Liam Neeson, Really? And he's not doing anything to hide his voice. I can tell that's Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Really?
Tina
Fey? Really?
I also really liked the I don't remember what it's like actually called, but it's based off The Borrowers.
Mm-hmm.
The book The Borrowers. I don't remember if it's what the actual title was of that one.
No, I couldn't tell you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Something with Fireflies is a Studio Ghibli film as well. It's like one of the darkest ones that they have. Because I know Howl's Moving Castle is a Studio Ghibli
Grave
film.
of the Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah, it's like it's considered one of the darkest Miyazaki films that they've ever done because it's actually pretty serious. It's actually following a Japanese soldier during World War II trying to transport his sister, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
And it plays it pretty damn seriously. There's not a lot of moments of wonder or anything.
I have it somewhere. I actually have the book Howl's Moving Castle on
That's a really good one.
hardback.
Yeah. I love that he always bases it off these like fantasy books. You know, that's always interesting. Mm-hmm. So, and this is also based off of a book. Go figure. Yeah, I mean, everybody always forgets that these usually are book adaptations. Keyword usually. I think Ponyo wasn't, and I don't think Spirited Away was either.
Yeah, I saw Spirited Away about a year ago in the theaters with my daughter, and God, if you had the chance to see that in the theater, go do it. It's so much
Ghibli film.
Yeah, it's so good to see it on a screen like that.
Oh yeah. No, I would argue if you even a home theater wouldn't compare to watching a Studio Ghibli film on screen.
Yeah,
on the big screen.
For sure.
Yeah. So now I believe this is coming out next year. Correct, or am I wrong?
I believe so.
I believe it's like February of next year.
Though. I don't remember the date. Let's see if it could play for me.
No, actually, it's coming out this
December
year.
December 8th.
December 8th. It is coming out soon.
No...
I thought it was December.
It already released in Japan in July.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It did? Okay, so yeah.
So they've just been doing the English dubbing then.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, yeah. That's going to be cool. I hope I am able to treat myself and go see it.
That's going to be a must-see in the theaters. You got to see that one in theaters.
No, and it's actually coming out literally a week after Godzilla Minus One. Is going to be in American theaters as well on December 1st.
Well,
yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a bit.
I saw something interesting about
transitioning to.
Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. No, we still got a couple more trailers to talk about. All right, so our next trailer to talk about is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the first official Planet of the Apes movie that Disney is doing, and ever since they have acquired Fox, and it is continuing after the Matt Reeves universe. I believe it's like a couple hundred years. That are like 50. I forget how many years it's been since like War for the Planet of the Apes. So
from the descriptions I found, it says set several generations in the future.
Yeah, so like 200, 300 years. You don't know. Yeah. No, and I mean that makes sense. I think it's going back to basics, which is fine. And what's funny is I've told people about this, and a lot of people are like, no, you're fucking bullshit. I'm like, go back and watch it. You can fucking prove me wrong. And there, if you look at the TV towards like, I think like the 30 or 40 minute mark of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you look on the TV, they're actually sending a shuttle into space. And that's supposed to be a reference to the original, where you have astronauts go into space and they come back, lo and behold.
Planet's overtaken, yeah.
Yep. And the monkeys are already talking, humans don't talk much. Yeah, exactly. And I love the freaking voice of this orangutan. I don't know who's playing him, but that is
I don't know really, but it's voice. A really good voice.
It is. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I love it. But yeah, no, I'm very interested in this. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it doesn't look as good. I'm like, it looks on par. It looks like I think, what did I say? It looks like an in-between of Rise's effects and Dawn's.
Yeah. So
it's like a solid in-between.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good enough. And I'm sure they're going to tweak it before it comes out. because I think this is going to theaters if I'm not mistaken. Now I know this is coming out next year. Yeah, I believe this comes out like February or something next year.
February something. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head either. But no, I absolutely will go out of my way to go see this. I regret not seeing a single one of those Planet of the Apes movies in theaters.
Same.
I wish I would have gone, but I never did.
I agree with you there.
Every time I watch one from home, like this is a great. It's not just a good movie; it's a great movie.
Yeah, the only one that's like the weakest is Rise, and even it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's good science fiction. And Andy, you got Andy Serkis doing so much, of his magic.
Whenever it comes to
CGI acting,
yeah, absolutely.
And so I was like, I didn't catch a single one in the theater either. This one I want to, even though he's not involved.
Yeah, he's not involved. Caesar's long dead at this point. But no, I'm curious to see if they're gonna go wholeheartedly back to basics, or are we getting a movie before that? Because I feel like if you end this with the astronauts landing, you have the best sequel bait of all time. Because then it's a full-hearted Planet of the fucking Apes movie.
Yeah, then you could have
this, and you have
Planet
all
of
the
the
backstory.
Yeah,
fucking phenomenal. I would love that. And I think that is a really genius move. Or you can have the third movie be just an outright remake. Like you can hint we're gearing up for something that's gonna happen, and it happens in the second movie, and then at the end of the second movie, after whatever conflict you want to set up, then you have the astronauts crash land. I think that would be genius.
That'd be great.
That would be cool. Yeah, I definitely would be down with that.
Yeah. And I swear to God, if you don't cast Alexander Skarsgård as the lead for that Planet of the Apes remake, you are missing out. That's a good casting choice.
But he already did Godzilla.
It was Godzilla versus Kong, and he was barely fucking recognizable and memorable in that movie.
I love Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's phenomenal. Yep, but no, phenomenal freaking trailer. I love this trailer, and it doesn't really show us much of a plot at all.
No, and that's one of my big issues when it comes to trailers nowadays. They show too much. This is the perfect amount of what to show.
It's showing off like gorgeous landscapes. It gives you an intrigue. I would say give me an idea of what the story is, and then stop. Just keep showing that trailer, and I'm happy. But of course, they got to market it. So of course, there's going to be TV spots, and they're going to show even cooler shots. And it's going to be like, whatever. Now, another complaint I've heard is a lot of people are like, "Oh, they look weird when they talk," and I'm like, or a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're not speaking in sign language," and I'm like, that's a natural evolution I would have expected to happen. And it's not like they never talked in the original. Do you want us to go back
to people in fucking suits? Because that's what the originals were, and that's what
that makeup effects still really hold up. I'm not gonna, especially in
the Tim Burton. Is true. Yeah,
the Tim Burton one holds up tremendously.
Holds up.
Though to be fair, I don't think they really put Paul Giamatti in his makeup. Oh shit, yeah, they did. No, we love Paul Giamatti in this fucking podcast, but I just had to make the joke.
I've watched the trailer a few times, and one of the things that I really do appreciate about this is that the CGI actually looks great.
It does. Yeah, it looks okay.
It does.
I'm like, really oh my god, this looks so fake. Where let's go back to Marvel, where the past few movies have been really fucking bad, but
that's for a whole different reason.
Yeah.
That's a whole.
We'll get into that here in a bit.
But this actually looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
That's one of the things about the Apes movies is that they've been scenically gorgeous.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, I'm down with this. I think this looks fantastic, and I'm really excited to go see this.
Yeah, I am too.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to this movie wholeheartedly. But I believe you can check it out on. It is going directly to theaters. It's not going to Hulu or anything.
It's going to theaters, and it'll be out Memorial Day of next year.
Fucking phenomenal. Let's go. So Memorial Day of 2024, folks. Be sure to check out Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. All right, another trailer we have. Well, we're going to keep the Disney train going along, I guess. until we're done with this topic, is we have the Echo trailer, and this is actually under a new banner. So funny enough, this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Marvel now has a new banner where it's if it's a like hardcore, it's more hardcore, because I believe Echo is going to be rated TVMA.
Mm-hmm.
And so you now have Marvel Spotlight. This is your more grounded and focuses less on the overarching MCU, and it's basically where you can go more hardcore. And a lot of people are speculating, like, do you think Blade's going to be on this? Because the director's like tripled down and said, no, Blade's going to be rated R, the current director, until he fucking kicks the bucket. And we're not going to say anything about Blade because, god damn it, I don't want to jinx it. But anyway, so, a lot of people are like, oh, will Blade be in the Marvel Spotlight? And they brought up Ghost Rider, and I'm like, okay, I could see Ghost Rider being a little bit more mature, and you could do that under the Spotlight. And a lot of people are like, oh, is Deadpool 3 going to be a part of it? And it's like, I think Deadpool 3 has enough related to the MCU that's going to be important that I think they may or may not put it under there. But I'm going to go on the lines of no until the next one, and then probably the next one will be under the Spotlight logo. So now onto the trailer. This is a show that I'm going to tell you right now. Whenever I heard about it, I'm like, this is a character I can give two fucks less about. I don't give a shit about this character. She did nothing in the show, Hawkeye. And the only reason why I'm interested in it is because you have Vince D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox showing up as Kingpin and Daredevil before their Daredevil show. Which, by the way, I got to meet both of those guys. They're great. I love them both. D'Onofrio is, I always forget how he usually is pretty frail. Not frail, but like he's skinny. He usually he fattens up for those roles for Kingpin. And it is still freaking phenomenal. Now that being said, the trailer. This might actually turn me around. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like you see a shitload of Kingpin, you get like one shot of Daredevil, and I'm like, okay, this is a show that actually looks grounded. It reminds me of the Netflix shows. I'm interested now.
Which I'm glad they're going for more of the darker approach, especially like what they did with Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all that. Like, they had good dark tones.
Exactly.
But they were still they were phenomenal. Now, granted, when I first watched Daredevil, honestly, I was a little put off because of just how slow the pacing was. I just felt like it was a little slow pacing.
Yeah.
But I gave it another shot, probably maybe a few months after. And when I watched it, I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Dude.
So I'm hoping they do the same thing with Echo. Like, granted, maybe a little more.
We're getting
faster the pace a little bit, but
we're getting all, I believe, 10 episodes. Correct me if I'm wrong, George. I think it's 10 episodes.
Give me a second here, and I will let you know.
I know we're getting all the episodes at once, though, and I believe that's coming out March 10th of next year as well.
5.
Oh, there's 5 episodes.
It's gonna be an entirety of 5 episodes.
Oh wow!
Fuck. Okay. When does it come out?
Miniseries.
January 10th.
January 10th. Okay.
Yep.
So be sure to check it out on Disney Plus on January 10th.
I'm optimistic for this after watching the trailer, and I want them, like, please, for all things, don't fuck with the Daredevil tone. Like,
keep it dark, keep it gritty.
Yeah, because it really works for that character.
That's how Daredevil is. He's dark. He's a dark, gritty character. He needs to stay that way.
Yeah, you already kind of chipped off a lot of fans with She-Hulk and making him do the walk of shame. Don't get me wrong, the suit was kind of cool. I actually like the suit.
Yeah, I like the suit too.
Yeah. The suit was, it was literally just, all right, slap some mustard yellow on the suit that we already have. It's like, I don't fucking care. Just pick a part. And that was essentially the suit. And it was still the same Netflix suit. And I love that. But, honestly, that was still the best episode. I'm not going to lie. That's still the best episode of She-Hulk.
It's one of the better episodes, yeah.
Yeah, because it actually felt like what we were getting advertised, which is like, oh, it's superheroes. And it's like, cool. Fun. I like this. I love it's like, my favorite line from Cox was the freaking, wow, look, here I stand, my ass unkicked. And I was like, that's That's such a fucking cocky Daredevil line. I love that. That was such a good line. They did the powers a little. They did it right in that. The hallway fight was pretty good. It's still
the one shot.
Yeah,
the one shot fight scenes in Daredevil. There was one every season.
Every season.
I was blown away by how much better they kept getting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, the biggest highlight of season 2 was the one shot that they did. Honestly, season 2 is not my favorite season. The first half of it is great. Whenever it starts dealing with the Hand and Elektra, that's where it goes downhill for me. And Elektra's a great character.
I can agree.
The Hand is just terrible. I can't stand that shit. And it kept fucking coming back. I'm like, good God, let it die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ruined
Yeah.
You ruined Defenders with it, amongst other things. But you know, like it was such a big thing in the freaking Iron Fist show. It was such a big thing, not really in Jessica Jones, not really even in Luke Cage. But it was such a big thing in Iron Fist. It was such a big thing in the fucking Defenders show. Such a big thing in the second half of season 2 of Daredevil.
At least when it came to the Iron Fist, it was a little different because that was part of his main villains. Was part of
that's
the Hand.
fine. And
So
that's fine. And I get it, but
made
Iron
more
Fist still
sense.
sucked. Iron Fist is that first season was terrible. I hated that. I hated the first season.
Which really sucks because
second season
the
was
actor that they got for to play Danny Rand, he was a great actor.
Ben Jones? Yeah, no, he was running off the Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah, he's a great actor. It was just bad writing, which really
everybody's
sucked.
like, oh, Danny Rand should have been an Asian character. And I'm like, he's not in the comics. I get it's Asian culture, but the whole point is he's a orphaned white boy that was raised by monks. That's the whole point of Danny Rand. That's the whole point. Like, that's his essential character. So it's just, I don't know, you know, whatever. Fine, I guess.
People always find something to complain about.
They do.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Sure.
It won't matter. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. There is plenty of valid criticisms for Iron Fist. Plenty. You have a plethora of options. That is on the bottom of the list.
I didn't even finish it.
Season 2 is not bad. I will give season 2 the benefit of the doubt. Season 2 is actually, they got the fighting better. They actually had fight choreography in season 2.
I think I watched the first 2 episodes of season 1 and I was like, I'm out. Like, it didn't hold my interest at all.
You missed a couple of good moments, but that's really about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, you don't have to watch Iron Fist in order to watch Defenders.
Yeah,
you did.
I know.
Yeah.
And I went straight to Defenders. I was like, yeah, I'm not
What
going to watch
I actually
Iron Fist.
didn't like much was Luke Cage. That's the one I didn't care for.
Luke Cage was good for its first half of its season, and then when they introduce, whenever they kill off Cottonmouth, that's where it just goes downhill for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hated that decision. That was a terrible decision.
And yet, I think that one of the standouts that they put together, and I felt like, I don't know if they had a plan for it, but it came out, and I was like, the Punisher was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never watched the show, but when he brought him in, that was a brutal character.
I will say this, like, the way they show him making Billy into Jigsaw is 10 times more brutal than the scars that we got for Jigsaw. That was one of the downsides of season 2. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. His face should be a lot more fucked up. I don't care how pretty
mangled.
Yeah, I don't care how pretty his face is in real life. You should fuck up that face a little bit.
It's destroyed.
Yeah. You don't have good enough plastic surgery to fix that shit. You're gonna have scars everywhere.
Like Deadpool levels of just messed up.
And what's funny
Beyond
is
that.
I kept thinking he was gonna be a different character. I never got the like Jigsaw connection. I was like, I kept thinking like, oh, he's gonna be a different character. He's gonna be, and everybody's like, no, he's gonna be Jigsaw. And I'm like, I don't fucking know who that is. You know, and then everybody's like, oh, he's one of like the most iconic villains from Punisher. I'm like, I think Punisher has more iconic villains. And lo and behold, I'm like, yeah, nope, that's like one of his most popular villains is fucking, are you looking for who the fuck asked?
No, I have a Jigsaw somewhere around here.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, and I kept hearing Jigsaw. I'm like, John fucking Kramer is showing up in the Punisher? What the fuck is this shit? You know? Yeah. Oh, the naive non-comic fan I was. Yeah. Yeah. Wrong Jigsaw. Yeah, exactly. But no, man, it's one of those things. It's like, damn, you know, That show was so good. And I feel like this is going to be in the same vein and that kind of tone. I don't know how the fuck you're going to do this short. I mean, like, unless it's a very short story, I don't know how the fuck you're going to do this in 5 episodes.
From what
Those
I've
episodes
seen,
better be hour long.
From what I've seen of the trailer, it feels more like they're talking about the relationship between her and Kingpin more than anything else. Because in Hawkeye, she was, you know, she was working for Kingpin. You know, she was raised by him. So
more or less,
this is going to be more of a story about them, and you know, I guess how Daredevil starts fitting into the picture a little bit more, because we get his introduction in She-Hulk, but you know, I think this is going to be, I don't know, we're going to see how this is all going to play out, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be a super deep story for Echo. I don't know.
I think this is definitely going to be a character study, but I'm down for it if you're giving us a dark and gritty tone. I'm not entirely sure how I feel it, because I think Echo is usually Mexican American, right? And now they're doing like more of a Native American kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, that's a drastic tone from what you pretty much gave us in Hawkeye.
Right.
So I don't know. I was just like, I mean, I don't hate the connection. I'm like, okay, that's kind of an interesting idea. She could be half and half. But it just comes down to a factor of like, I don't know how I feel about it. But going from that, if you guys are interested, we will go into our final trailer. So I don't know if anybody, any of my Japanese fanatics out there, we have a new Hiroyuki Sanada show called Shogun. This is a historical epic, if I'm not mistaken. It is going to be a series on Hulu that does take place in feudal Japan. And as soon as I kept seeing the trailer, I was like, holy shit, we got Hiroyuki Sanada. We got feudal Japan. Are you finally giving me my damn Predator movie that I've been asking for 10 years? And no, but we are getting it looks like a pretty good show, honestly.
Close,
it does look like a really good show. Yeah, close but no cigar. And
we are still waiting our feudal Japan Predator movie.
Oh, come on, man. That's still so freaking good. Like I you know,
that would write itself. It would write itself.
Well, what's funny is there's a TikToker that did a Mad Lib, and he's like, we're doing a Predator Mad Lib. Here we go. And at first he starts off like, okay, we're doing a Predator Mad Lib. Give me a bunch of context words. Just like, and he's like energetic. He's like this, and he's writing it all down. And then he finally goes, and oh man, there's so many good points. I'm like, dude, I would kill for this movie. This would be so fucking good. But the show we're getting doesn't look half bad. It actually looks like a lot of fun.
It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, it looks gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's one of those. It's like I'm very interested to see what type of story we're going for. I'm getting almost Viking vibes from like the storytelling, from like taking like mostly focusing on a couple of different characters on different like freaking regions.
Yeah,
I'm getting Viking
kind of
vibes.
Vibe.
Yeah, I'm getting Viking vibes, and I liked Vikings. Vikings was great. I still need to finish that show. Damn it!
It's gonna be a 10-episode thing, and it kind of feels like maybe this is a one and done story.
It might be.
I don't think it's gonna be a multi-season type show.
No, you don't get Hiroyuki Sanada and make it a multi-season show.
Yeah, but I'm really good with that. I love stories that do that, especially if it's something that's historical. So I'm into this. Like, this is gonna be.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I
like so. One of my favorite stuff when it came to like feudal Japan, like one of my favorite movies was The Last Samurai.
Great movie.
Around that area.
Also had Hiroyuki Sanada in it.
Yeah. So love that type of movie. 47 Ronin was another favorite of mine. Just that whole.
I think that also had Hiroyuki Sanada in it.
I think it probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite areas when it comes to like Japan movies that are based in Japan.
Yeah.
All right.
Wake up. Coffee.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. No. Sleep. I take sleep. All right. So going from that, we're going to go ahead and go into our next topic. Godzilla Minus One is the latest in the new Toho films that have been coming out of Japan for the Godzilla films, and this one is actually quite a freaking doozy. No, it is not a sequel to Shin Godzilla, though. God damn it, I'm waiting on that one. Nope, this is actually its own original story. This is taking it back to basics. We are getting I believe it's like a year or two after the bomb droppings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and so you already have Japan at such a fragile state, and then you add the fucking beast. Godzilla is a bad guy again. I am so looking forward to this movie. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. One of the coolest things, like, I thought it was weird. I actually just saw a like little snippet clip of doing the atomic breath,
and his fins pop out. I saw that too.
And then they shot back in.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But it's like,
that's
also like that
cool
very
same time.
That very end scene shot where he's just like jolting forward. I'm like, oh, this Godzilla moves.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
My only
Godzilla
thing with,
looks scary.
Oh, absolutely. And the only thing I can say, like with Shin Godzilla, is like whenever he gets to his final form,
he starts moving a little less. He's very stiff.
The thing that moves the most is his legs and his tail. His head and his above the waist does not really move a ton until he like leans over to do like his atomic breath and kind of moves.
It literally looks like he's throwing up for a second.
Yeah, right. So
they did that on purpose though, right? Because it was an actual suit.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why. Yeah.
They definitely went back to like their basics to where they had somebody in a suit and like it's very classic.
Now this one I think is entirely CGI.
I
would be very surprised. Now, granted, I wouldn't be surprised if it's motion capture. That would be interesting.
I don't know if they're doing that. I saw like a little clip where they had the model and they were like doing like the walking scenes and like testing it out and things like that.
Yeah, so then it might be completely CG animated, which is fine. It looks gorgeous.
But this is a smaller, more agile Godzilla. And that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. Absolutely. It's what the 98 film Godzilla should have been.
Yeah.
And
should have been like that agile.
Instead of a fucking iguana on steroids.
No. I also love how Japan bought the rights to that one and then killed it.
Yeah, and then they run it like a Godzilla crossover, and it just pops up and immediately gets destroyed.
Yes.
I love that. That's so funny. We did get a good animated show out of the movies.
Yeah, I did. I really did like the animated series that came from the 90s.
It was actually good. That's the crazy thing.
The one on Netflix?
It was actually good. It was on I think it was on WB Kids.
Yeah,
it's a sequel. Like one of the hatchlings latched onto Matthew Broderick's character, Titopolis.
Yeah,
Titsopolis or whatever the fuck it is.
It takes place roughly a few months right after the film.
Yeah, and you get a.
I never saw that.
It's a good show.
It's a good one. You should. I don't remember. Godzilla the animated series.
It's just
Godzilla the animated series.
Yeah.
Because I watched the other one that was on Netflix. And there's an animated series on there.
That one. I know which one you're talking about, where it's like the future colonies coming back to Earth.
10,000 years in the future.
I freaking loved that. That was so good.
That was a series I didn't know I needed. And I really liked it. I really liked it.
I thought I was going to hate it. I'm not going to even lie to you. Like within the first 2 episodes, I'm like, I'm going to hate this show. Yeah. And then it just immediately, something grabbed me and just hooked me. I don't know what the fuck happened, but it hooked me. I love the
thought Godzilla
was that Planet of Monsters? Is that one?
No. This was just Godzilla. I think it was just called Godzilla. It was a Netflix miniseries. It was like 4 episodes. Yeah. The way they introduced King Ghidorah is fucking phenomenal too.
Oh yeah.
There's actually some genuinely terrifying moments in that too. Like when everybody's like becoming one with the machine for Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla. That whole thing.
That was like, terrifying. I was like, this is fucking scary.
It's like the future is a really terrifying place. I don't want to be there.
No, especially with the Godzilla walking around. Oh, come on, man. No, fuck you.
We thought Godzilla was huge, like in the films and like that.
Like, no, he's fucking ginormous in that. Yeah.
10 times
the size of a mountain.
Yeah,
like not a building, a mountain.
Yeah, man. Like fuck.
Yeah. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, that show is so good. I gotta go back and watch it at some point because the animation was what kind of made me where I was like, this is kind of choppy and cheap at the same time. It's not. I will still say one of the most unique King Ghidorah I've ever seen. Like that was
Yeah,
a unique
definitely for sure.
interpretation of Ghidorah. I
Yeah.
I adored that. I was like, that's actually really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Or snake-like.
Just
dragon,
the
which I thought was really
light
cool.
beams. It was just made out of entirely light beams. And like, how the fuck are you gonna fight this fucking thing? What the hell? You know? Oh man, I gotta go back and watch that. But no, you guys, us here in America, I don't know about Canada or anywhere else, but I know here in America, you can check out Godzilla Minus One in theaters December 1st. Mark your calendars. But yeah, no, I'm adoring every bit that I keep hearing about this movie. I'm like, I gotta see this, and I want it right now.
They put
Between
they
that,
said November
between
29th.
that and Monarch.
November the 29th. It's been pushed up.
Yeah, the day after my birthday.
I'm fucking excited. Okay.
Between what we're seeing with Godzilla and what we've seen with the Monarch show coming out soon, or is it out? Yeah, I don't know yet. But these look really good. This is gonna Monarch's gonna expand the MonsterVerse, which is gonna be crazy to begin with, and then seeing this new Godzilla film coming out. It's going to be amazing. It's like, I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
Do you think that this is going to confuse fans, though? Like, not hardcore fans are going to get it. They're going to figure it out. They're going to know. But your average viewers are going to be like, what are you talking about? Like,
so
maybe. I don't know.
Because I'm not a super fan. I would call like a casual into a super fan, you know, like I know enough about it, right? Like I know my lore, I know what goes on. So I would say, you know, I was confused when Shin Godzilla came out. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, it's a Toho film.
Yeah.
It's the original studio making another monster movie. And so I think they're going to do something similar, because Shin Godzilla was marketed towards like your super fans that want to go out to see it. And that's what it was, a very limited release in these states, and that's what they did. And they didn't really market it at all. It's just if you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, tough. You know, I think a lot more people saw it whenever it was out on disc and everything else. Because I think it went to like Crunchyroll. I think it went to a couple other places. I think it went to like Netflix for a while.
Yeah, this is going to be a limited release too. It's going to be released in 1,000 theaters. So
it's
not going to be everywhere.
Yeah, I already have it saved to where I think I know where I can go see it. I think like the nearest theater is at a mall that I can go see it, at least AMC wise. So I'm looking forward to that. One of my other buddies, Benji, he's a huge Godzilla fan. So he's just a huge monster movie fan in general. So he and I are definitely going to go out of our way to go see that.
For as good as this movie looks, I would love to see this be a breakout hit in the US.
I would kill
for it. I love that. Yeah.
But not a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's got subtitles. Fuck off. And it's like, fuck you. Go kiss my ass.
I watch so many subtitled movies. I'm like, you guys are missing out on some of the best movies.
Dude, you are. Like, I'm telling you, Korea has some of the best horror films of all
100%.
Oh my god.
I've watched
zombie movies. Like they've been killing it with the zombie.
They've been killing it with the zombie craze. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I've watched a bunch of them on Netflix.
No, was that Korea?
Was that Korea? I think it was the Sadness was China, and that was technically demonic possession. No, you're right. No, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, where if you look at them and they're crying, but they're laughing at the same time, and it infects you, and you just go insane.
Yeah, everybody just goes insane.
Yeah. No, that is South Korea.
I haven't seen
I think Hashtag Alive was one of my favorite ones.
Which one?
I think it was called Hashtag Alive.
Hashtag Alive was pretty good. Yeah. Is it
Hashtag
Taiwan?
Alive? That's on my list to watch. Oh, like
that's a really good zombie movie. Yeah.
Like they're dubbed, which I'm fine. I'm completely fine with. It actually helps me a lot more, but they're still really good.
I gained an appreciation for subtitled movies whenever I took a class in college called The World Through Film. And I think we watched like 3 movies in Spanish, 1 movie in Russian, 1 movie and it was just movies in different languages just to hear them pretty much.
What
obviously really, Chinese was Kung Fu Hustle.
But. Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle, yeah. What really got me to gain an appreciation was I kind of stepped a foot into anime. But I was like, dubbed, whatever. I'll find. If I can't find a dubbed, I'll watch it subbed.
Exactly.
And but no, like the film that like really got me to appreciate subtitle films was Pan's Labyrinth. I love that movie.
That is a great one to
that's
jump
such
off
a
of.
great
Oh
movie.
yeah, that
That's
is
such a great
such
movie.
a good movie. And at first I was really turned off by it because I'm like, I love Del Toro, and then I saw Spanish, and I was like, I still love Del Toro. Let's watch this, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely adore it because I think like his first, that
The
wasn't
Devil's
his second.
Backbone.
Devil's Backbone is a really good one. Midas, not Midas.
I've never seen that one.
No,
I don't-
Kronos. My bad, Kronos. It's actually his
I don't think
first
I've seen
ever
that
film
one.
he did, and it has mostly in Spanish
of it.
except for two characters. You have Ron Perlman and the character and the guy who plays his dad. They're the only two that speak English in the entire movie. That was Del
Interesting.
Toro's first film. It was called Kronos. It's actually a vampire movie.
Interesting.
It's actually a very interesting take on a vampire as well.
I'm gonna have to look that one up and watch it.
There's a kill count for it on YouTube. That's what introduced me to it, and I got to go out of my way to go watch it now at some point.
Okay,
'cause-
now you got me sucked in.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I just found it. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
yep.
What
And
can
it's
we
one of
watch?
Del
it on?
Toro's first movies too. Yeah, and it's a great story on how he managed to get Ron Perlman in it. But yeah, no, so it just comes down to like with Godzilla, I feel like with it being a limited release, I know that they're like, okay, we know we have fans in the US, they will go out of their way to go see this or they won't.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just definitely going to be one of those things like, and I guarantee you there's going to be a physical media release at some point. It took
I
Shin
hope
Godzilla
so.
about a year or two to get it there in the States, but we will eventually get one for this one. I guarantee you. But no, I mean, it's just
Hopefully we get into streaming before then, because I do really want to see this movie. But just because
Yeah.
of where I am, like if
Good
it's
luck.
an AMC, if it's an AMC theater, that's going to be the nearest one. Probably Eugene, Oregon, which is about 2 to 3 hours away. If that, unless there's, I know there's one in Portland, but that's like an 8-hour trip.
yeah, that's a long trip. And who the fuck wants to go watch a movie in Portland? Let's be perfectly honest. I don't think even people in Portland want to watch a movie in Portland.
The only time I want to go up to Portland is for Portland Comic-Con, and if I ever get the ability to go to my first YCS tournament. That's it. That's the only time I
There you
want to
go.
go to Portland.
There you go. All right then. Well, if you guys have any more thoughts, comments, concerns on Godzilla Minus One, now is the time to say your moments.
I'm stoked.
Oh,
Fucking
fuck
stoked.
yeah. Me too.
Stoked.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
It's a
The
giant ass monster film. Who doesn't like a
Yeah,
giant
like-
ass monster film?
kaiju me anything. I don't give a shit. Like I'm fucking happy.
I also
Like,
love
right.
like those memes that came out after Godzilla King of Monsters, I think is what it was. Basically where it was pretty much just monster fights the entire movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the critics were like, "Oh, this movie's awful because it's just a bunch of monster fights." But a lot of people were like, "Well, that's exactly why I came to see the movie. Is because there's big monsters fighting. That's the entire."
Did you want me to come for character development? Because I fucking nope.
I don't care about
Don't
this
get me wrong,
character.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't get me wrong, the newer monster films have good stories. It's just we want to see some monsters kick ass.
That's arguably where, honestly, because I forget, was it King of the Monsters then Skull Island, or was it Skull Island then King of the Monsters?
Skull Island, then King of the Monsters.
Okay, so Skull Island ultimately proved a tonal shift in its entirety for the legendary MonsterVerse films.
Yeah.
Because Godzilla 2014, it feels like the
I
odd one
didn't
out
watch
the
it for the
entire-
longest time.
Oh,
literally
it's
didn't
so
watch it for
worth
the
it
longest
though.
time.
I
Yeah,
saw
I
it in
eventually
theaters.
did
I saw it
Yeah.
in theaters too. Yeah.
I saw it in theaters with my grandmother, and she fucking loved it. It was entirely entertaining. But even as a because I think it came out in 2014, I would have been 13 years old, and I was like, man, I can't stand this fucking character. I'm only liking him because he's Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's about it. Where the fuck is Bryan Cranston at, man?
Right.
And then, that was before I even saw Breaking Bad. And that was right after it ended, too. Like, that was very quickly after it ended. I believe Breaking Bad ended in 2013. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know 2014 is when that Godzilla, Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie came out. And I absolutely loved it. But I'm like, all right, here we go. Fuck! It just that is literally the exact interpretation of everybody in the entire theater. It's just like the screech and cut, and it's like fuck. Just it's so bad. Oh, but no, like it's like you almost get Stockholm for it, and then when you do see the finale, it is so fucking worth it.
Yeah.
The finale was
so good.
Yeah, I was looking up to. I didn't get to see it for a number of years until when I went back to community college, and then we had a small video section library, and it had Godzilla and Kong. So it's like, okay, I'll pick these up. And I picked up a couple other films that I was wanting to watch, like the newer Tomb Raider, and there's one that I don't remember what it was. And I watched it. I was like, this is kind of boring at first. It was like, story's pretty decent. Then you get to the finale, and like the finale was so good.
Yeah, it was so good. That was literally the whole skydiving scene. That was literally the trailer for the longest time.
Yeah. That portrayed the whole movie as I almost thought they were going like the super horror movie route.
Yeah, I did too.
That's what I really thought they did.
Yeah.
They kind of delved into that a little bit, but I was like, if you guys had even leaned into that a little bit more, I would have been like really into it.
I think a lot of people would have. Yeah.
I'm not upset about what they did. I'm really not.
No, it's
I'm
still
really
a good
glad.
movie.
Yeah, I'm glad I got a modern day Godzilla that has carried on to other movies. Like, fuck yes. But at the same time, like, if you made this a really just like downright gory, terrifying, giant monster horror movie where there's nobody safe, and it's just vicious. This thing has no conscience. It doesn't care. Like, you're the enemy to the planet, and that's what it's trying to protect. And so it's like, fuck the entire population.
Yeah.
I would have been like, no, this is so good. But it's okay. I'm glad with what we got.
Yeah. No, and what's funny about it is Gareth Edwards kind of already did a movie. Like, his first movie was a movie called Monsters, and it takes place in a world where these giant creatures exist. He did the effects himself for that movie, which is why anytime you watch a Gareth Edwards movie, you know the scale is going to be fucking accurate and glorious.
Yeah.
That's why I still love Rogue One. And like, the characters are but like the visuals alone, anytime you see a Gareth Edwards movie, you know for a fact you're going to get good scaling and you're going to get great visuals. And that's what I would argue. What's up?
Monsters, I think, is a revolutionary movie for him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
in
absolutely.
general.
It's a revolutionary movie for like any startup filmmaker. It's revolutionary. It's a great standard for what you can do at home with effects. If you know what you're doing and you spend enough time at it, you can make really good shit. And it just comes down to that. And I mean, shit, it's even more accessible now, and it's actually fairly easy. I mean, you look at all these deep fakes, you look at all these things. It's like, shit, we just fell for it earlier. We thought it was a real trailer.
Alien Romulus, yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it was a real trailer. Nope. And yeah, it just
I have not seen his newest movie though, The Creator, which
I really want to go see it.
I really want to see it.
Good.
Yeah.
I heard it is so good, and I really want to go out of my way to go see it, but I just never have the time.
Right.
And it came out at like the worst weekend too. I think it came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think there was so much other shit that was coming out that I'm like, look, I got to save my money for these movies, but I will go out of my way to watch this at some point. It will be on my collection at some very soon point. But that being said, you guys here in the States, very limited selection, but you can check out Godzilla Minus One on, what did you say, November 27th, correct?
29th.
29th. On November 29th, you can check it out for yourself. And Let us know down in the comments below if you're planning on seeing Godzilla Minus One. Alrighty then, going on to our next topic, we have, funny enough, Five Nights at Freddy's. For whatever reason, we keep talking about this movie. There is apparently
supposed
this
rumor.
This is a rumor mill, but it wouldn't surprise me. There is apparently a nearly 4-hour lore cut of Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'd watch it. I
would
do
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's enough lore in that whole universe that it could take easy 4 hours.
Easily, yeah.
At home. I'm not going.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to go to the theater.
Yeah, no.
Now, I will say this: I will go to a theater
bed to watch it.
Yeah, I will say this: I will go to a theater if you have an intermission for Zack Snyder's Justice League. If you ever want to release that in theaters, I will absolutely go out of my way to go see that in theaters on the big screen in IMAX, everything. And I fucking hate IMAX. Like, I love IMAX for the visual. I hate it for the seating. Every IMAX I have ever been to has the worst fucking seating.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate it. And it's like, this is the most expensive thing I can do with the worst seating.
I end up taking everybody's chair in front of me every fucking time.
The best one I've ever been to was like the recliners that AMC usually has, but it doesn't recline. And it was at AMC in Grapevine Mills Mall. I went and saw Avatar: Way of Water in IMAX and 3D over there. Worth it.
Yeah, we saw Killers of the Flower Moon in IMAX, and I thought that the seats reclined, and nope.
No, they don't. No, the old school seats, man. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why can you not give us recliners and fucking IMAX seats, man?
I didn't realize that was an AMC thing, because the first movie, when 5-6 years ago, when I went to go see Gabriel Iglesias live with my mom as a little vacation thing, we went to Vegas.
Right.
And the hotel we were at had a built-in movie theater. Mm-hmm. And that's when I went to go see Civil War. And I'm sitting there, I was like, all of a sudden my legs pop. I was like, this shit reclines. I was like,
yeah. No, AMC has the automatic reclining seats. So like, you just press a button and it automatically does it for you very slowly.
I was like, dude, this is like the most comfortable I've ever been in a movie theater.
Yeah. No, recliner seats are great. I will say this: there was one movie I did start to fall asleep on because of the recliner seats, and I forgot what movie it was, but I was falling asleep.
Probably because you were almost asleep to it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, I remember when I went and saw the new TMNT movie, or no, it was like 3 weeks later after the premiere. It was Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. There was somebody in my theater passed the ever-loving fuck out, like snoring and everything. And it's like 10 minutes into the movie, like Miles just got introduced, and I'm hearing, I'm like, you gotta be shitting me here. But
dude, that guy must have had a really shitty few days to fall asleep.
I think it was a mom with like 4 kids that she went to go take to the the
Okay,
so
yeah.
I think it was just an excuse to shut up the kids and have a good
That was her peace time. That was her peace time.
Exactly.
All forgiven there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't blame. No, I was giggling my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so back onto the main topic, obviously. I don't hate the idea of a 4-hour cut. Definitely gonna watch it at home. But I don't know if I'm gonna go out of my way to go. I don't know if I'm gonna go out of my way to go get this movie. Not necessarily. The more I sit back on it, I'm like, you could have done better. Maybe the 4-hour cut will save it. I don't know. But you could have done so much better with FNAF.
I was actually happy with what they did, just because, I think about the comparison of what you're one of those people that grew up on Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Like you were younger back then, and it wasn't full of gore. It wasn't.
That's fair.
It was more of an atmospheric, very scary type thing. Jump scares were a big thing. Yeah. And I think that that's what the director was actually going for, was trying to kind of stay faithful to that idea, because I will give her credit that her use of camera work in that movie to create tension and jump scares with those animatronics was great. Now, the way they went about the story development, I didn't hate that either, but it's definitely what I've considered this movie to be: a very good beginner kids horror movie.
Yeah,
that's
I would
what I
definitely
call
agree
this.
with that. Yeah, For sure. Yeah.
When MatPat did his video, because he is in the movie, he said Scott Cawthon was actually on set quite a few times. So
that doesn't surprise me at all. He's been very involved with this movie since Blumhouse got the rights.
Yeah. So I think, like, even though I haven't watched it yet because of, again, situation.
Remember, you can check it out on the cock.
Yeah, but I got to pay money for that.
That's true. That is true. Start a free trial and then cancel before it's done.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I do. I make lists of all the, because I go to their websites, make a list of movies I want to see on some sort of streaming service. And if I've got 7 to 14 days, I fucking just.
If not, I have a website that I do not condone whatsoever.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't either.
I have a couple too, and it's still in CAM, and like I ain't watching.
Oh yeah, no, CAMs are terrible.
Not that I do not condone.
No, we don't condone at all anything like that. No, whatsoever. We've been good boys. YouTube, don't hate us.
Hate us for what? We haven't done anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The link may or may not be in the description below. I
don't know what you're referring to.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. I may be talking about nothing.
But yeah, even though I haven't seen this movie, it's like I would totally enjoy a 4-hour lore cut of this film.
Oh yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I honestly wouldn't have minded an extended cut of Dungeons and Dragons. Honor Amongst Thieves. That would have been a really good experiment.
I would have loved one. I would have loved that.
Like, or hell, even alternate jokes and outtakes. That would have been funny. But
I would say that that's one of the funnier films of this year.
Oh, wholeheartedly. It actually genuinely surprised me how much I enjoyed it. Because
it would be interesting if you do an alternate ending. Like a complete alternate ending of that film.
Yeah. And the best way to do it is do it in the vein of Clue the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one way. But here's another way. With the same music and everything. Like, wholeheartedly.
Just with, like, an alternate version with Jonathan.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Jonathan, yeah. Oh my god.
That poor guy. That
poor bird. Yeah, absolutely.
An alternate version would have been like, he sees this coming, he grabs him and throws him against the wall. And he's like, no, not again.
That actually would be funny. I'm not going to lie. All right. Well, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on a 4-hour lore cut of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Nah, I'm all for an extended cut. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Maybe it'll save it.
Hey, maybe it'll show the bite of 87. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. We've yet to see. All right. So here's a topic that I know George is just itching to get onto because he hasn't talked about it enough as is. Variety released a new article on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is basically saying it is in shambles. Yeah. I don't disagree. It is. And it's not from superhero fatigue. You can kiss my ass with that fucking term. It is literally just a factor of they've gotten to the point where in my opinion, they've gotten to the point where it is quantity over quality.
Yeah.
You were seeing that in the effects. You were seeing that in the amount of Disney Plus shit that they are pushing. You were even seeing that in their movies and like some of the writing processes as well. So it just comes down to, it's quantity over quality, and you never want to go that way.
Especially with superhero films. Films.
No, exactly. And of course, they also bring up the Jonathan Majors issue, which we're not going to get into, but I mean, it is a factor. And there's a lot of rumors saying, they may or may not replace Kang with Doom. And I'm like, why? You haven't even introduced the Fantastic Four yet. Why the fuck would you introduce Doom and not the Fantastic
Four? Yeah, like that's such.
Unless you're gonna like fucking atomic bomb drop this movie on us within the next year, I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even get a director.
Completely rearrange the way I think it's phase 5 that we would be in.
Yeah, we're getting into phase 5 now.
Because
yeah,
when they originally announced the timeline of what they're doing, and it was phase 5 and phase 6, Fantastic Four isn't supposed to come out till is the first film for phase 6.
they changed that schedule around so much because Fantastic Four was struggling for the longest time to find a director, let alone, getting on production, let alone casting. Now, I believe John Watts is still attached to direct Fantastic Four, as far as I know. I don't entirely remember. That's the last casting or directing news I've heard, and they've been keeping it pretty consistent. Because I remember when Peyton Reed, he said that he pitched an idea for it, and it was, what if we go all the way back to the 60s, and they were, Marvel's first family, like they usually are, and that's where it's like you could have them basically be stuck in the negative zone or the quantum realm, and then you can bring them back so many years later, and they're still the same age.
Yeah.
For them, it was a couple of days. For us, it's been decades. And I don't hate that idea.
I don't hate that idea either.
It would make sense. It makes a line in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness make sense as well. Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not happy with Marvel.
No.
Right now, and believe me, I'm a giant kid. Like Marvel, I love Marvel. I love comic book heroes, just period. I mean, it's one of those things I grew up on. Like it also, brought me a lot of sanity in a very crazy situation. So that's why it's so near and dear to my heart. And when people would usually ask me, like, hey man, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm living my best life right now because I live in a day and age where I get to see all these superheroes on the big screen.
Exactly.
And it's like, how much better could life really be for me? Like, I'm just so happy. And then it's like we had Kevin Feige at the helm. We had the right people doing the job, great actors. The CGI is not the best, but it still looked really good. All these movies that
Iron Man still holds up in my opinion.
Yeah,
like that first Iron Man movie has some of the best effects. But granted, they took like 2 or 3 years to work on it too.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And again, it goes down to quantity over quality.
And it's like you can just keep the pace you're going, guys. Like you're not going to lose money over it, and now you are losing money because you decided to speed up the process. And so now you're shortchanging the people that are involved. You're shortchanging the CGI departments that you hire because they don't have enough time to actually put the effects into place to make them look good. And like Marvel, get your shit together. Yeah. Cutting way too many quarters because you think that they're going to be these huge hits. And Marvel, the fucking shit's about to... Yeah, it's about to hit the fan because you're going to find out with the Marvels.
How bad.
Yeah. It's not even Kevin Feige's fault. He's
stretched too thin.
He's stretched way too thin. And he said in multiple interviews, that he is for the fans when it comes to the Marvel.
And I believe it.
Which is why he pushes himself so hard. Which, Kevin Feige, if you ever see this, we fucking love you, man.
Absolutely. We're never going to shit on you at all.
No,
you
never
brought us like so much joy over the past 10 years.
That are fucking with you with this shit need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And let you do your thing.
Well, and that's why I feel like on the television department of things, because they're like, oh, we're going to have Kevin run it. And it's like, I'm already running films. We're coming out with like 3 films a year. And you want 3 shows on top of that? And then now he's like, okay, look, I'm losing way too much hair over this. And I already have very, very little left as is. I'm going to actually start hiring showrunners. And I think Daredevil really, when he read the script and saw what all they had, because I think they had like 3 episodes done.
Yeah, they had 3 episodes done and everything like that. And he's like,
I feel like that was his wake-up call. He's like, no, we're not doing this again. No, we're done. We're done. We're actually going to go back to basic. They scrapped
the whole thing, and like you're starting over.
Fired the entire writing staff, which is a ballsy fucking move.
right?
You know, yeah, and I fucking love it. I love it, and I think that that's what ultimately changed the tone for Echo. That's where we're getting like this Marvel spotlight. I feel like he is genuinely working behind the scenes on trying to make this shit work. And the problem is I worry it's too little, too late, and that's the problem.
The ship can still be righted. It can. And I don't think it's too little, too late. I think that it's going to be a big period of recovery after the Marvels.
Oh yeah,
but I think it's time to say, let's slow down. Let's back off for a year. Let's give it a year.
Yeah.
And really, you know, whatever projects we're working on right now, let's really sit down, hash them out, and let's not rush them out the door.
Another thing that a lot of people are wanting is for Secret Wars to be kind of a soft reboot. And I love that idea. I think that's such a good idea. If you get up to Secret Wars, make it a soft reboot. Do it 100%. Make it like just a celebration of all Marvel, not just MCU, not just Marvel Studios. We're talking all. I'm talking the shitty Fantastic Four movies. I'm talking the halfway decent to shitty X-Men movies. I'm talking everything.
That, like when Secret Wars comes out, apparently it's going to be Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman leading the team. This is the
they're going to be leading. Yeah, it's one of the rumors is they're going to be leading the TVA's version of because this is apparently going to be TVA versus the current Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so the TVA is getting all these past characters to, you know, to basically fight these current characters, and apparently Tom Holland is in that same rumor. They say Tom Holland's the chosen one. I'm like, the what? Are we going into the Matrix now? What the fuck are we talking about? And that's where I'm like, okay, I like the idea of Hugh Jackman and Toby leading a team against our current Marvel Cinematic Universe. I like that idea. I don't hate it. When you start throwing around terms like chosen one, fuck off. Not in the Marvel movies. Fuck you.
The chosen one has no place in the Marvel universe.
Unless you're talking Shang-Chi and it's some weird prophecy in that universe, that's different. But
that's a different thing. That's because of like of a cultural thing with Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. That's a whole other thing. I am okay if they like bring in the phrase the chosen one for Shang-Chi for something like that for like his next film or some shit. But like if you're doing it for the full MCU, and like fuck off.
No, fuck off.
You know,
fuck off.
I am so fucking livid about Shang-Chi. Okay, I really liked that movie. I felt like that was one of the Marvel movies that came out where it's like it wasn't one of the great ones, but I'm like, I really appreciate what you guys did with this. Like, I really still do.
It felt different enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
it definitely stuck out.
Where'd he go?
He just disappeared.
Just fucking disappeared.
We've seen Wong more than we've seen him.
Yeah, it's like, what happened, guys? I liked that character a lot.
The character was great. The actor that they got was phenomenal for the character.
Perfect.
Simu Liu, yeah, he's pretty decent actor. I'll give him that. Yeah.
And now we have nothing. Nothing.
And I'm really disappointed in that because I really liked that character. I really felt like he was going to bring some heart to the universe because he's not a guy with actual superpowers. You know, even though he has the 10 rings, he doesn't have actual superpowers.
No, exactly.
So I was really like stoked about that. On board, this guy, you know, he's a master in, you know, martial arts, and I was, let's just piss on him, I guess. Fuck you, Marvel. Anyways, I'm good. Yeah. I'm okay.
You sure?
You got it out.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a little mad, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Not at you, Kevin Feige. It's just everyone else. It's just everyone else on that ad.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing against Kevin Feige. He already saved what was somewhat of a sinking ship and made it better. And now it's sinking again, and I feel like he's gonna have to save it again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get to that point where we are getting back to where like superhero movies. And honestly, here's the thing. I wish James Gunn the best of luck. I really hope he makes the DCEU work, or this new DCU, whatever the fuck they're going to call it. I hope he makes it work. I love the idea that he's doing like a 10-year plan. I love the name of chapter 1. Gods and Fucking Monsters. I love that name. That is so good for DC. And, I'm looking forward to Superman Legacy. The more and more I hear about it, I'm like, dude, this film sounds great.
Right?
I'm looking forward to it. And so I wish him nothing but luck. Is it sad that he's no longer going to be part of Marvel? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very disheartened by that.
I'm sorry, but if they go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, if they cast anybody but Jensen Ackles for Brave and the Bold, I am gonna be severely disappointed.
I will take your Jensen Ackles, and I will give you one counter offer. That is actually not a terrible idea. Joe Manganiello.
Oh no.
No, you don't like it? You don't like it?
No.
I think it's a good.
No.
I think it's a good choice.
No, Jensen has he even looks good in the suit. He has expressed so much interest in doing it. He would be about the age of the Brave and the Bold to be, mentoring a Robin. And I'm like, dude, like, give it to him. He wants it. He's in the physical shape to do it.
Yeah.
And he has the acting chops.
He's already played Batman in The Long Halloween Parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He voices Bruce Wayne in Batman. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't hate the idea. Yeah, no, a lot of people didn't know that, but yeah, no, and I love that. That's one of my favorite animated Batman movies. It rivals Dark Knight Returns, which was my number one favorite for the longest time. Long Halloween does a really good job. No, I was gonna say he's a good choice. I don't hate it. Now, one that he might be a little old, but they did say they want to go for an older grizzled Bruce Wayne. Give Clive Owens a shot. He's got the jawline for it. I know, in fact, he does. I know he's a little old, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like he'd be a really interesting choice. Because how fucking old is he? Hold on. Clive Owen.
52?
59.
Is he? Oh, 59. There you go.
Holy shit, really?
Yep.
Jensen Ackles is 45. Give it to him already. I'm so dead set on it. But then I think he's dreamy. I'm sorry. I just do.
That's Joe Manganiello.
It's okay. Joe Manganiello?
Yeah. Definitely a good guy.
Yeah, no, that is true. No, I actually say give him another shot at Deathstroke. I think he's a really good casting for
That's
Deathstroke.
where I wanted to see it go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would work
And
well there.
Here's the thing, James Gunn, I know you want to keep Jason Momoa because he's been one of your biggest supporters. If you do not cast him as Lobo, I will kill you.
He even wants to
That
do
would
it.
be perfect.
He wants to. It was
That'd
such
be
a good. It
amazing.
was such a terrible miscasting. And like, don't get me wrong, he's great as Aquaman. I like him as Aquaman.
Yeah,
he
he's
would
a
have
great
been
Aquaman,
so
but-
much better as Lobo.
Yeah.
Now,
Lobo
I will
just
give you
fits.
this: if you want a good Aquaman, I know we keep bringing him up all the freaking time. Alexander Skarsgård would be perfect for comic actor.
He'd be awesome.
Aquaman. You'd be
He'd
great.
be awesome.
Yeah, dude, just right there. You have it. You're good to go.
And I'm just saying, for the Flash, just give it to Grant Gustin already.
I think
I
Grant
mean-
Gustin wants to separate himself from that character, though.
Yeah, I do
Because
too.
I've heard different that he actually kind of like, as much as he loves playing the Flash, and I believe he said he wouldn't mind doing it again on the big screen.
That is fair. I would give it to Grant Gustin. Now, here's the other thing. I say do Wally West. Fuck Barry Allen. Wally West was the more interesting Flash. Hell, the animated series knew that.
Yeah.
Even the TV series has kind of done Wally West dirty.
That's true too. They did kind of do Wally West dirty.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like
I-
the Justice League Unlimited. That was a really good interpretation of Wally West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like, this one might actually be the first time, like, me saying this, and it's weird because you guys know me. I'm not a big DC fan at all. I actually wouldn't mind seeing what James Gunn does with the DCU.
Yeah, no, I think he could actually save DC. I think he could be like he could be the antithesis to where he could be the Kevin Feige for the DCU. There is a couple of hiccups, and I think it's partly because he's like, oh, I want to save my characters that I introduced to the DCU, like John Cena's Peacemaker.
Yeah.
He also wants to save Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. I don't hate that. That's not a bad.
No,
these
I don't
are really
mind-
good castings. Yeah, but it's like I feel like here's the problem. If you want to confuse people less, you have to go either hard reboot or nothing at all. I'm sorry, that's the best way to do it. And like, don't get me wrong, I love Zolo Venezuela, or whatever the fuck his last name is. I know his first name is Zolo. I always forget how to pronounce his last name. I loved him as Blue Beetle. He was great. It was a good movie. I actually really enjoyed Blue Beetle. But I think you should still have recasted. And yeah, that it's going to ruin any freaking hope that Warner Brothers has for any of these movies. Like, I know Lost Kingdom is going to lose a shitload of money this year. I know for a fact.
God, it's going to bomb. So
it is. There's like little to no footage of Amber Heard, and I know that she had a pretty extensive role in this movie. And there's a lot of rumor, and especially the biggest rumor going around now is that the test audiences walked out. Yeah, really? Test audiences walked out of James Wan's fucking Aquaman 2.
Honestly, he should listen to the fans, and as soon as they heard the controversy, he's like, get rid of her. But no,
there's I'm talking about just the movie in general got walked out on by test audiences. This was after the Amber Heard cuts and everything. Like, by the time they're showing it to test audiences, they have a general idea of what they want to do. No, like, it got walked out on, and I'm like, I swear to Christ, you showed us a baby in this movie. If you have the bull testicles to kill that kid, you have all my respect. I'm sorry. That is so hardcore. I love that idea. I don't think they're gonna do it because it happens in the comics, but that's not a really good excuse anymore.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much shit that happens in the Watchmen comics that they never put in the freaking movie. Yeah. There's a reason why it's like, but it happened in the comic is not a good option. It's not a good argument for why it should be in the movie. So I think realistically, there's just
certain things that should not be. Just leave it in the comics. The biggest example is the semi backstory of She-Hulk.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She, from what I've never read her comics, but from what I've heard in her comics, she is pretty much a sex fiend and naked throughout the whole thing.
I need to breed more She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that my takeaway?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I guess.
Well, no, here's the thing. The greatest thing about She-Hulk is, yes, she was written as like a sex icon or whatever, but that was the whole thing is she embraced it. And she's like, no, fuck you. I get it. I'm a little bit promiscuous. Who gives a shit? Well, that's the whole point.
She's a person with needs, and you have to figure that she came into her powers like at middle age.
Yeah.
You know, like, she didn't grow up with them. She didn't have them for years like, Bruce did. And so many other characters. Yeah. So it's like, for her, she's like, well, I still have like needs as a human being, and I'm not going to stop. Like, this is the person I am.
I'm already developed.
Yep. And now I'm even more developed thanks to this. No, I'm kidding. Upgrades. All right.
Green upgrades.
Our final topic is... I hate you. I hope you realize this. I fucking regret bringing you on now. We love it. We love having you on, George. It's great. No. So with this, our final topic is, it's kind of rumor mill, but it's also kind of not, because I did do a little bit more research into it.
Yeah.
So Chuck E. Cheese, for one location, and I believe for a very limited time, is bringing back their animatronic band. And I believe by the end of this year, they're going to decommission it entirely, and it's not going to be in any other stores. But this is at one store. I believe it's in Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
California.
Is it in California? Okay.
Yeah, I did some research on it.
Yeah, so it's just one store or one location in California that if you want to go see it, you can. After that, they're done.
Did it say which area?
Yeah, it did. It gave, here, let me bring it back up. So it starts November 10th. And it will be featured at Chuck E. Cheese Munch's Make Believe Band aren't going on tour. Instead, like many performers such as Britney Spears and Celine Dion, they're taking up a residency. No, not in Las Vegas. Instead, they're performing in Northridge, California, just outside of Los Angeles.
Okay, that's not the one I went to. Never mind.
Yep.
When I was younger, I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese a lot, and the one we had was in Concord, California. So
I never went, like, ever. That was somewhere I never got the chance to go to.
Yeah, I went a few times as a kid.
Yeah, I went a lot as a kid, just because it was one of my favorite places to go. It was between that and Main Event. Those were the two big ones for me. And then when I got a little older, we started going to Dave and Buster's. But it was always Main Event. Chuck E. Cheese. By the time I was like 10, I stopped going. I will never forget the one line that Donald Glover said in his stand-up special, Weirdo. Because he's like, what's the number one place that you want to go as a kid on a Saturday morning? And somebody yells out Chuck E. Cheese. He's like, whoa, Chuck E. Cheese. Somebody had a step parent. He's like, Toys R Us, and I as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I fucking hate you because you called me out on that, but I actually like Chuck E. Cheese, so fuck you. It was still funny. It was still a funny bit. And that's when he wraps up the whole show. It's such a funny bit. Highly recommend checking out the special if you haven't. I
have. It was an excellent special.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that.
The Home Depot bit was the one that
that's where somebody yelled out Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, somebody had a step parent. And I'm like, fuck you. That's funny, and yeah,
that's just funny, but fuck you.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just but yeah, no, I mean, it's great that it's, we do have it, it's at one location if you want to go see it. Did they say whether or not it's permanent or not, or no?
They're not saying if it's permanent.
Okay.
They said the band's performance will be on November 10th as part of a grand reopening party. Not only will visitors be able to catch the band's first set back, which means that there will be multiples, but there's also going to be free cake and a poster to be had, which makes me extremely jealous because I want to go now.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a smidge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad I don't want to go to California.
I'm still a giant child. Like, that still excites me. I'm like,
right.
I want to go.
Sir?
I want to see the animatronic band.
Sir, we know you're a giant child. We've looked at your background.
They're collectible, my good sir. Yeah.
There's not a collectible behind me. That's nothing.
Yeah. No, it's just
Like
a giant
wallpaper.
blur.
Wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, wallpaper. Yeah. I want to appear as a nerd. This is a giant elaborate curtain.
It's a very detailed wallpaper.
That's not even that's not even a part of it. That's only what you can see.
Oh, I know. I've seen bits and pieces of it through TikTok and other times I've talked to you. I've seen it.
It's severe. Anyways.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's not a phase.
Last night, I believe that we were researching eBay for animatronic parts. I would like. I'm sorry. I'd like a Chuck E. Cheese face plastered to my fucking wall. I want that.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have the money to do it? Absolutely not. But
No, I don't.
It's kind of like me and building a PC. I don't have the money to do it, but I want it. I want it bad.
Right.
Yeah. It'll come eventually. With the day that you see this angle change and you don't see a bearded dragon tank behind me, you know the day has come. Until that day, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Unless you guys have any more thoughts, comments, concerns on the fact that Chuck E. Cheese is kind of bringing back the band for one location.
Just wish I could see it. That's it.
Yep. That's really about it. Yep.
Yeah. It's cool that they're doing it, but also at the same time, it kind of sucks for people who live on the other side of the country where there's still Chuck E. Cheese, but you're not going to be able to see this.
I have a Chuck E. Cheese up the street from my house, and I don't know many in the area. I'm like, you couldn't have done it in a few different locations across the United States. Like, even it wasn't in my town.
Areas. Yeah. Like, do Dallas or I would say Chicago, but you're going to get shot.
Like 50 different locations.
A war zone up there.
Yeah, dude.
Not just this one location. Maybe do
Yeah.
like 50 different locations across the country. Then
one I grew up with, I guarantee you still has the animatronics there. I guarantee it. They just have it behind a curtain. That's all it is.
Probably.
Yeah.
Run down decrepit animatronics, but yeah.
Soon they're gonna replace like one hand with a hook and
next thing you know, there's gonna be kids going missing and somebody yells out, "The Bite of 87 is real!" And you're just gonna see a massive crowd just run out and
it's okay, kids. It's okay. They're behind plexiglass.
Yeah, there is 467 Chuck E. Cheese's left in the United States. They could have done 100.
Easily.
Yeah, they could have done easy. Yeah. They could have done 100
easily,
different locations.
I thought there was more. I didn't realize and I did realize, but I didn't. They're shutting down a lot of them too. They're losing money consistently. I think they're going to go the way of Blockbuster. I really do. I think it's going to be like there's going to be one freaking store left that's going to be run by somebody. It's not even run by the official entertainment, or it's not even run by the official company anymore. And then eventually it's just going to lose all the money out and then foreclose.
The funny thing about Chuck E. Cheese, and there was a YouTube video about this. I honestly don't know the legitimacy of it, but it was being touted as the one store, like major store in the United States with the most amount of domestic violence.
Doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Especially when they started serving alcohol, I was like, "You're just asking for it."
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. As an adult, I'm like, I don't. That's what Dave and Buster's is great about it.
If you want to go to a place like that, you don't go to Chuck E. Cheese. You go to fucking David Buster's or something like that. Something similar.
Main
along
event,
the lines where you don't even go to.
Yeah. If you don't feel like spending Dave and Buster's money, you go to Main Event.
Well, you think about the powder keg chemicals that they're pouring into it, and you think about you have a kid's birthday party with probably 2 divorced parents bringing in their new boyfriend or girlfriend. Mom and dad are getting sloshed, get into a fight about their old relationship, then they're in a fight with their current spouse about, do you still love them or not? And it just turns into a complete and total shit show in front of the children, giving them a great example of a loving relationship for the rest of their lives. I love this. I'm sick.
This gets the Real Cinephile seal of approval.
That is
well,
great.
once again, believe it or not, we're actually going for about 2 hours here. So I believe we're going to go ahead and wrap this sucker up. I have been your host, BlackShip56. This has been Snodacast Season 4, Episode 32. I've been joined by the Real Cinephile, a.k.a. George.
And thank you so much for having me again, guys. I really enjoyed this. And now, down in the corner.
Yeah, now down in the corner, we have Watsonandoff, a.k.a. John.
Hey, they live or they die. There's no time for goodbye.
That was a good one.
That was a good deep cut. And of course, as always, we were joined by the wonderful, magnificent DJ Lionheart, aka.
Let us know down in the comments what you guys are excited for when it comes to anything coming up, the new trailers we talked about, or anything you guys want us to talk about on the podcast or on the Reels. And as always, stay nerdy.
Feels negative without you, Leon. Once again, I've been BlackShip56 and Kidder. Great plan, Ray. This has been Snodacast. And we'll see you all